Hey everyone, it is Liz. Excuse me, sip. I have been taking a little bit of a break because, you know, so much has been going on with the mass shootings, and everything has just caused me I needed to take a pause to just reevaluate and reflect on the state of our country. And, in the midst of all of this stuff going on, I decided to take a look because I know I've had my eyes peeled to the Derek Chauvin case. And I watched the trial, diligently watched it, paying attention to both sides, knowing that, the defense and just my opinion, I just lost all respect for these lawyers, these attorneys, who I know this is how they make a living, but I just thought it was offensive. I was offended by all of it. And so I decided that I would do a reading on what the outcome of the Chauvin trial will be, what will be the verdict. And, this is just me doing my thing. And yes, I am using my Sibylla. I don't know what I just dropped there, but I seem to be having the dropsies a lot lately. So I am using my Sibylla Oracle cards because, they're very blunt, I find, for me. And as a tarot card reader, I've been reading tarot for so long, and they're not blunt. Tarot cards are the complete, opposite of the Sibylla. But I like it. And at my age, learning something new, that I tune into right away helps me. I don't know. I want to be able to do more of this, and learning something completely new like this. I caught on to it so quickly. There was a subscriber asked me about my markings on my cards. You'll notice I have markings on my cards. Well, that's how I learned how to read the Sibylla and my playing cards, by the way. I bought a cheap deck of playing cards, and I'm slowly writing down all the meanings because there's no images on the playing cards, but the dynamics between the Sibylla and the playing cards and the nexus with, numerology and astrology and all of it is fascinating. So anyway, I am looking at the outcome of the ex-disgraced fired police officer who was accused of murdering George Floyd, and I want to see what the outcome is. So I'm looking at his recent past, and I did, as usual, as I am learning, taking notes. So thank you for your patience. So the first card I pulled in the recent past of this situation was the Thief card reversed. So, this is his recent past, and it's interesting because the thief, when he's upright, he's getting away with something, right? Got away with it. When it's reversed, it literally means that he was caught red-handed. So think about that. Chauvin literally was caught red-handed because he was filmed. We all watched George Floyd literally being murdered on national TV. So again, this completely makes sense with the Thief card reverse, literally meaning it's very literal, caught red-handed, right? So then we move into the second card, which is where he's at right now. And we've got the card of, it's the loss of money card, and it's reversed. I'm just looking at it upright because loss of money in general are it's a loss of something, right? It's a loss of something practical. It can be a personal crisis, but when it's reversed, it's more about again, his current state of mind here is, if you look at the card again, here you go. When the loss of money card is reversed, it is that he's hiding the truth, that he's deliberately, he's wary. I believe that he didn't speak at the trial. He didn't take the stand out of all sorts of things, fear, the fact that I think he's feeling like maybe his allies or his so-called colleagues and friends Not all of them are being supportive. Maybe he feels with again with the loss of money reversed. Again, it's this feeling of like he's being betrayed, which is crazy because again he doesn't. I don't think that Chauvin recognizes that he did anything wrong, and I don't know if that's deliberate or if that he's just out of his mind, like crazy, or deliberately in denial. But moving into Chauvin's immediate future, okay, we have what I found interesting was the card of the enemy, and it is the six of clubs, by the way. And so there was an interesting dynamic there as I'm learning playing cards. They're really, it's interesting. This is the card of the enemy. So if you look at the enemy card, obviously in his immediate future, he does have enemies, not just enemies like who are the obvious people who don't like him, but he's got hidden enemies like within, so to me with the enemy card, he should be on guard because there are people plotting against him. And I don't mean just from outside. Again, I believe that there are people within whatever's left of this police department, whatever's going on there. There are people that are deliberately stepping away from him. And I also believe that people, his colleagues, his superiors, the whole nation, I believe, sees him as a coward, honestly. And that's his current state of mind. He's feeling as though, it's interesting. I think he really believed at one point he would he would get away with this. Like there would be like a deliberate, like he was deliberately being deceptive. He knows, I feel he deliberately killed George Floyd. And I know he knows this. I know he deliberately did it. In his immediate future, it's like he really should be on guard because, people are, I don't know how safe he is all I'm saying. I think there are people that very much want him to suffer consequences. Now, it's interesting because Derek Chauvin's current state of mind, which is the card of success, which is reversed. When the card of success is upright, as you can see, it's a very confident, successful person who feels they've achieved their goals. They got what they wanted. They worked hard for it. When the card is reversed, success reversed is literally termination. It's deception. It's disappointment. It's vanity, which when I look at him, I think, yeah, he looks like he's really entitled. Like there's a vanity there. There's this ego that, I see auras very quickly on people. It's usually the first thing I see when I meet a person. On Chauvin, watching the video of him murdering George Floyd, the aura on him made me physically sick. I had never felt that way before. It was like this sick feeling in the pit of my stomach, and I just could feel it all over my body. And then it was like abruptly, like I was shaken to the core. And I believe that Chauvin's current state of mind is he's very unhappy. I don't think he knows who to trust. I believe that this whole cancel culture thing, I think that he's not being canceled, this whole BS about cancel culture, which by the way, I'm not, I'm an independent. I don't think that people should be canceled. But I think if somebody breaks the law and deliberately kills somebody or does something that is deliberately horrible, right, they should suffer the consequences. And so Chauvin is feeling abrupt, like it's like this abrupt anxiety. He's feeling disappointment. He's not happy. He's discontent. Again, when the card of success is upright, this is a man standing in confidence, holding his Bible, if you want, feeling very blessed, and feeling like he's overcome a lot of adversity and now he can enjoy his life. Reversed, Chauvin is just discontent. And in my opinion, the way I read this is I think he's recognizing that his world is being completely just ripped away from him. Now, moving into his environment, this is how Derek Chauvin is affected by his environment and vice versa. So again, we have a reverse card, which is the card of the journey. So I'm just looking at my notes, guys. Don't mind me. Um, uh, now, the journey card was reversed, which is the inability. It's almost like nobody wants to help this guy. I even believe that his attorneys, when I look at his attorneys, it's interesting. I look at these two men here and I feel like these are his attorneys trying, like they have all their stuff with them, all their information, all their notes, all their documents, everything they need, right, to make this work. But in the way I'm seeing this is that they cannot help this man. There is just no, um, this is a dark future. This is a very bleak future, and no one wants to help him. And the feeling I get with Chauvin's environment is that he finds himself in a situation where I believe people are pulling away from him. And I believe there are more and more people pulling away from him, and distancing themselves, family and friends. I don't know exactly about his family dynamic there, but I just get this feeling that colleagues and so-called friends and family even are starting to pull, I think maybe his parents, maybe brothers, maybe sisters, if he's married, I don't know about that. Maybe they'll stick by him for a little bit. But his hopes and his fears, as far as, it's interesting, it's not just hopes and fears, it's also the advice from the reading, the advice from spirit, the advice from, the reading is the card of victory, but it is reversed. And this is interesting because victory is what? Success. When it's reversed, the spirit is saying, there's no victory here. There's no one winning. It is actually the Five of Clubs. And this is where I found victory to be interesting because it does initiate, it's a lack of initiative in Chauvin's past. I mean, I found that with the victory card reversed, what I learned with the Five of Clubs, right? Because that's the Five of Clubs in the victory card, actually. Take a look. Five of Clubs. His entitlement, this self-righteous attitude that he's lived with, his most of his life. I believe that others are losing hope with him. I believe that people are losing faith in him. I can, see with this card, the victory card, most likely Chauvin is going to suffer some serious financial consequences as well. And he's going to be broke. And again, I believe with that card of the victory card reversed, Spirit is saying that we will watch people walk away from him. Money's going to become a real problem for him. He's not going to have the success he wanted. If anything, he's just being rejected because, again, the victory card reverse is this lack of initiative when it comes to doing the right thing. The victory card reversed, again, when I look at Derek Chauvin, I think of a man who thinks he's privileged and entitled. And almost when I look at him, watching him talk the other day, there was something, I don't know, just empty, a void. Something's missing. No compassion, no acknowledging. There's no feelings of, like, he doesn't look like he feels bad about anything, like he did nothing wrong. It just blows my mind. So anyway, the outcome for this, the last card I pulled was weakness. And again, it's reversed. Now, when weakness is upright, it's an illness. It's it's a very uncomfortable card of not feeling well and feeling very weak. That's the upright. But when the weakness card is reversed, this is a very bad vibration. In fact, I think I may have taken some notes. I did. There's weakness. And I'm going to put weakness down because it's the outcome. And for Chauvin, it's dejection. Okay. It's, people are, lacking any self-respect for him. He's full of self-pity. It's like that, the tarot card, the Eight of Swords, that feel poor me card where I didn't do anything wrong. It's not my fault. It's someone else's fault. Well, that seems to be the vibe that this card is taking with the outcome of weakness reversed. Okay. What I saw here was this man who had an addiction problem, I believe. Whether it's addiction to power in the job he had, I believe that he's a very weak man. I believe that he lacks the courage because he's so full of self pity. And Chauvin's refusing to admit he's wrong. And what he must do, according to this reading, is he has to admit that he's wrong. He has to admit that he made a mistake. It's almost like he needs to admit his guilt, have that come to Jesus moment, which I really don't see him ever doing. But I could be wrong. Now, you know, when I look at the advice again, from Spirit, with the 5 of clubs here, or the victory card, I feel like there's a lot of arguments going on. I feel like, I just wanted to get back to this, I feel like colleagues and friends and even the lawyers, I believe that they're pulling away from him, and I believe that, Spirit is basically telling Chauvin to stop being so freaking entitled, so arrogant. His arrogance is what I believe is going to be the final nail in his coffin, because I believe he will be found guilty, especially with the weakness card reversed. It's not a very pleasant card, especially when it's the, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It's the 8 of spades. It's a reversal. And it's interesting because, again, with weakness, I just wanted to see what I wrote. Yeah, I did. It's almost like I believe, whether it's a mental illness or not, it's his way of looking at the world that's really sick. He's racist, I believe, and that's just my opinion, but it's a lot of that had to do with his racism. Now, I always pull the bottom card, as you know, just to see what the message is, and what I pulled was, interestingly enough, the card of faithfulness and affection, which is receiving the support that he wants. He's hoping for a wonderful outcome. It's the 2 of clubs. Now, to me, when I look at this card, it represents mental stress, it's financial liabilities, because this is, again, 2 of clubs has a deeper level to it than just the faithfulness card. Okay, so just take a look at faithfulness and ask yourself, what do you see as faithfulness and affection? Because as I did my due diligence, and as I'm studying, the playing cards here, the 2 of clubs is a vibration of, it's a really bad vibration. Okay, the 2 of clubs is not good, and it's about someone who's very angry and dominant and irritable and impatient, and that to me describes Chauvin, so very clearly. And, he believes, look, at the pressure is on, and I keep seeing this because in the reading I saw it was Chauvin must take responsibility for his actions. He must apologize. He must admit that he was wrong, because if he doesn't, this faithfulness, this affection, he loses it. He's in big trouble. And with that 2 of clubs itself, it's big trouble. And his friends that once supported him in the future will pull away. And Chauvin needs to really look within. He needs to, one thing I know for sure is his views are his views of everything. The way that he sees himself, the way that he sees the world, the way that he saw himself as a police officer, that must be dealt with. In some way, he has to, again, he must come to like a come to Jesus moment, whatever you want to call it, because again, I personally believe Chauvin thinks he's going to win. He's not. I'm predicting, and you guys can let me know, get back to me once the trial is over and we get our verdict. But I believe he will be found guilty. And I believe, I didn't pull any more cards just because, but as I'm doing it, the temptation is there. I pulled another card, which is the Protector reversed, which is, unfortunately, there's no follow through. This is a failure. This is a vibration of failure. Okay. And that is the card of the Protector. So again, he's not admitting he's wrong. Again, I can pull another card because Spirit's saying to pull another card. I'll do it. Anger, my gosh, the reverse, which is, very childish. It's a very childish, trivial person who is very selfish when it's reversed. Anger when it's reversed is more about when she's upright. The envy card is all about, someone who is very envious and deliberately causes chaos. When it is reversed, this is someone who is retaliating in a very childish way. So don't be surprised, if the verdict comes out and I'm right that he is guilty. I keep pulling because Spirit says so. Um, I'm just going to do this. Let's see. We have the widower, which in general is a very painful ending, right? But she's reversed. When she's upright, obviously, when you think of the widower, you think of a woman who has suffered some loss. And, it's a negative card to begin with. But when she is reversed, it's crisis. It's a mental ending. It's a mental breakdown. So I think what I'll do is pull one more card they keep telling me to pull cards here. So, a dark-haired man reversed, lack of integrity, failure. I mean, none of these are good. There's the traitor vibration. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So, I mean, the last card is the card of fright. And now when fright is upright, it's dejection. It's the end to the way of living his life. It's an upheaval, which I believe is going to happen. But when it's reversed, there are changes happening, upheaval in his life that I believe he's going to try to pretend that everything's fine and that he's fine. But I believe that he will be found guilty, and I believe that he's going to be put in a very uncomfortable place, whether that's, it's certainly not going to be a fancy prison. I believe he will be locked up with criminals like himself. And so, to pull the last card, I'm just doing one more, which is thought. While he's in prison, think about it. When you think of the card of thought, when you just think of the word thought, you're thinking, well, this is time to reevaluate and reassess. He's not going to have a choice but to literally make some decisions about what he's going to have to do. And it's like analyzing the situation he's in, analyzing his marriage, his family, his friends. So again, what I'm predicting, and I'm going to stop it here, but I believe that he's struggling, that he's in denial, that he needs to admit his guilt, that this is a very egocentric, arrogant, entitled man who unfortunately is not going to get what he wants, and that he will end up be found guilty. I don't know how long he'll go to prison for. I kind of get this feeling that it's for a while. I don't know. Again, I didn't get into that. But when I look at the outcome of weakness, and really hard times ahead, I feel like this is going to be ongoing problems for Chauvin. Okay, so I hope this was interesting. If you guys have any questions or you want to leave feedback, let me know. And I would love, love, love for you guys to post some questions to me about anything political that you want me to look at. I want to do that. I really need some ideas here. It's been a tough few weeks for me, and I think for the whole country. And if you want to book a reading, I am taking appointments. I will post my appointment app. And if you haven't yet subscribed to my channel, please subscribe. And once I get to 1,800 subscribers, I will give away 2 15-minute readings to 2 random subscribers once it hits 1,800. Please like the video, subscribe to the channel, and please, I beg you to share my video and so that it gets out there. And so you guys take care, stay safe. I'm fully vaccinated, so yay. I hope that we're all fully vaccinated soon. And blessings to all. Have a beautiful day, and I'll see you guys really soon. Bye.